So many times during spacewalks outside the International Space Station, we can see air bubbles rising up. Can you touch on how there are air bubbles in space?
So Luca, as you go around on these Velcro sabers, this is where you might be able to get that almost impossible flap, or barely possible flap that we were talking about yesterday.
The almost impossible flap right there in the corner. I would just maybe go around the row you. I'm reeling in the Velcro sabers as you go. You're almost free of that right one. You just gotta not even. There you go. Free. And then the left one.
Got it.
The forward Zenith once.
It looks great, Scott.
A payload attachment point right there beside the station's arm. For some number of months, they're going to retrieve it and move it over to an external stowage platform coming up today.
So yeah, like a lot of times during the footage, the NASA footage, you can see bubbles coming up out of the helmets or kind of from underneath you. How do you explain bubbles in space?
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what you're talking about. Now sometimes you get water in the helmet, and it's either from sweat or from the cooling garments. And on some of my spacewalks, I had like water in the helmet, not like I was going to drown in the helmet, but just little bits of water probably came from sweat. Often on the outside of the space station, you'll liberate little pieces of, it's a really harsh environment out there, and the outside of the space station gets beat up pretty good. And sometimes, you'll see just those flecks of paint or something that you might have disrupted floating away from the suit. And, that's generally what that is. I've never seen any kind of air bubble anywhere.
Yeah. Could it be that you're filming in an underwater pool and you're not really out there?
You got us.
All right, well, I just encourage everyone to look up Bubbles in Space, hashtag Bubbles in Space. Thank you very much.
I'm Dan Kleffler in New York with an ABC News Digital Special Report. A close call at the International Space Station. An astronaut risked drowning inside his own helmet during a spacewalk yesterday. And today, they are digging deep into that suit to see what the problem was. Italy's Luca Parmitano was in the first hour of what was supposed to be a 6-hour walk outside the station when he began to feel something like water filling up in his suit. We're joined now from Houston with the latest on the investigation by ABC's Gina Sunseri. And Gina, when we first heard about this, it was almost unfathomable how something like this could have happened.
You know, Dan, NASA, in its wildest imaginations, never envisioned this scenario. An astronaut drowning in a spacesuit on a spacewalk 260 miles above planet Earth. You know, they run redundant training, they troubleshoot, they do all kinds of scenarios, but this was one they had never envisioned. Now, this morning here at the Johnson Space Center, where I am today, Luca Parmitano was conferring with a team of engineers on the ground. They're ripping that spacesuit apart, trying to figure out where all that water came from. There's a drink bag on the spacesuit. It's not like there are that many options when you're out on a spacewalk. They've got a drink bag which holds 32 ounces, and then there's a cooling system that runs through the spacesuit that holds about another gallon of water. That's enough to have drowned him, and as rapidly as his spacesuit and helmet was filling up, NASA said that was a very real possibility, which is why they aborted the spacewalk.